Yeah, definitely. I've given up everything for this sport. I gave up school. I gave up absolutely everything in my life. For this sport and to get where I am today. And like obviously it's paying off already. Like these sacrifices do pay off, but there is a lot of them, and it is hard. It's not for everyone. I had 120 amateur fights with 10 losses. I won a European gold medal, 6 national titles. I qualified for World Championships, but I broke my hand, couldn't go. Yeah, I've had a long amateur career. I was trying to qualify for Olympics, and I came when COVID hit. Then every gym closed in Ireland, so I came here to train with Freddie, and ended up turning pro instead. So.
Having boxing out of the Olympics, how do you feel about that?
I think boxing should always be in the Olympics. It's especially in Ireland, it's our like #1 sport. So boxing is like everybody loves boxing, and it's a sport. It's a good sport. You know, it's a nice like out of all the combat sports, it's probably one of the cleanest. Like, and I don't know. I feel like there's a lot of respect between fighters. You know, it should be in the Olympics. Really, it should. Like, I don't understand why they're taking it out.
How difficult was for you, or how easy, to make the transition from amateur to professional?
Yeah, it wasn't too bad for me, considering like it took me a long time before I actually made my debut. I only had 4 amateur fights without headgear too before I came here. But like back in Ireland in my gym, we always sparred with no headgear. We never wore headgear sparring, so it was just kind of a normal thing for me. And when I came here in the wildcat, I don't like wearing headgear because I wasn't used to it, and I tried to spar with no headgear, and they were just like, you have to wear headgear in case you get caught and stuff. But yeah, because I trained for like nearly a year with Freddie in the wildcat, getting used to the pro style and stuff before I actually made my debut. So it was kind of an easier transition for me because of that, because I had a lot of training done, a lot of rounds sparred against like top level pros before I actually made the debut. Yeah, especially in the wildcard, like the sparring is like, you know, there's not an easy spar in there. Everybody that comes in is like a top level pro or else Olympians in the wildcard, and like I get the best sparring in the world like 3 days a week, and I think that's what made it a lot easier for me. Like the experience like some of the people I was sparring had, like to learn from them before I actually made my debut, and obviously now I'm 4-0 and it's getting a bit better, but the experience, yeah, that everybody has in the wildcard, and just learning from them. That's what made it easy.
And now, I mean, you're very early in your career, and you're already with a training with a legend. How do you feel? You know, in that relationship, and having a team of that level behind you.
Yeah, no, I love it in the wildcard. Me and Freddie, we get on very well. It's always fun. You know, there's never a bad day in there, because you know, I just go in. He tells me what to do. I do it. He's the coach. He's the boss. Like, he just tells me what to do, and I listen to him, and he likes that. Like, there's nothing bad. I just go in. I do my training, and we get on. You know, we have a good time, and I know it's good. I love it in the wildcard. Yeah, especially like I've been sparring like 3 days a week for the last 2 years straight in the wildcat, constantly sparring, constantly training. But I love it. I know this is what I have to do. I have to put in the work now, and just, you know, it'll pay off eventually, and hopefully it does.
Do you feel ready for fighting for a youth championship or an international championship, or?
Yeah, I'm always ready. Like, my job is to fight. If Tom said to me, look, you're fighting for this tomorrow, I say, okay. No, I'm not picky about opponents. I trust Tom. I trust what he does for my career. As I say, it's my job to fight. If he tells me you're fighting for this title tomorrow, I'll say, okay. No, that's just my job to fight, and I think I'm ready. I think if even at this early in my career, I feel like I'm ready. I feel like with my long amateur career, the 2 years I've spent in the wildcard sparring with top level fighters, I'm ready for anything, and I can't wait to get to that level where I can start picking up some belts and stuff like that.
You feel all that pressure knowing UFC and so many MMA fans are watching you? I mean, specifically you?
Yeah, I don't feel the pressure. Like, this is what I've always wanted to do. This is what I've worked my whole life, you know, to get this, and obviously all these celebrities and people being there, like Dana White and stuff being there, like it's unbelievable. I love it, but at the end of the day on fight night, I know I have one job to do, and that's win the fight. So all I'm focused on is my fight, my opponent. Like there could be anybody in the crowd. Obviously after, like I'll enjoy it and stuff, but on fight night I'm focused. I'm ready just to win the fight, and that's it. So that's why I think I don't really feel the pressure, because I've worked for this. I know I can't let anything get in the way. And yeah, but it's good though to have these people there, obviously, yeah.
Yeah, and obviously we all know that Dana White is a UFC, you know. How did you catch his attention? How did that happen?
It was actually with Tom, so the Howlerhead Whiskey sponsor. I'm actually wearing the shirt now. The Howlerhead Whiskey sponsorship, and then obviously UFC Fight Pass, and then me and Dana just, I don't know, he likes me, I think, so we kind of, yeah. I'm headlining UFC Fight Pass and stuff, so it's good, yeah, it's crazy.
And who was your favorite fighter growing up?
To be honest, I didn't even watch much boxing growing up. Never. Like I just concentrated on my own kind of stuff. I was just training. I never thought, like, I always knew that I wanted either go to the Olympics or turn pro, but I never actually thought of it like this is what I was going to do. So obviously just being from like a small town in Ireland, like I never thought I'd be here right now, like doing what I'm doing. I was just boxing, just training and fighting, because I didn't know anything else. I was doing it since I was 6 years old. And yeah, I didn't really watch it, but I still don't even have a favourite fighter. I'm just training, just fighting myself, so yeah. The first time I stepped into a boxing gym, I was 6 years old, and I sparred my very first day, yeah. Me and actually my friend from Ireland, we still trained together our whole lives. I showed up and we sparred, and I loved it. Just being a child from Ireland anyway, fighting is just a normal thing. So when they were like, oh, you have to spar, I was like, okay, I'm ready. I don't even think I didn't even know what we had on us. Yeah, I loved it, and I've been there ever since. So.
Is it?
Yeah.
Is it? Let's see what this kid.
Yeah, we'll see. Yeah.
How important is it to represent your country? You know, especially you're living here in the States.
Yeah.
So, I mean, obviously, you have a lot of pride in that. We've seen.
Yeah, Deb, I'd say every single Irish man or woman, loves the fact that they're Irish, and even over here, a lot of people, say that they're Irish and stuff. It's like, but yeah, definitely, just representing Ireland and representing my country is just a massive thing, and everybody loves it. Like the fighting Irish, like people love that, and it's just, it helps to be Irish, especially over here, and yeah, just that Irish flag represented. And obviously there's like big names that, like McGregor, Katie Taylor. There's a lot of people that I need to try and get to that level as well, and yeah, I'm enjoying it, and being a proud Irishman is definitely going to help. When I'm not boxing, I actually like to go home. I've only been in Ireland for 5 weeks in the last 2 years, but yeah, definitely when I'm not training and stuff, go home, just see my family and just see my friends and stuff. But yeah, when I'm not boxing, just chilling out really, because I know I'm going to have to go back training soon, so I'm trying to rest as much as I can. Mm-hmm.
And you say you're ready to fight. You because you spar so much and you were at Wildcard for so long. You're ready to be up there with the big names.
Yeah, I already spar with big names, So.
Tell us some of the people you've sparred with. Big names.
Gabe Rosado, Virgil Ortiz for his last fight, Amanda Stanionis, Elvis Rodriguez, anybody in the I've sparred with everybody in the wildcard. I'm not messing with every single person from like 147 or 140 all the way up to like 200 pounds. Everyone that comes in the door, they're looking for someone to spar. Freddie's like, Callum, just go in there and spar. So yeah, and because he knows I'm not going to say no. This is my job. This is what I'm there for. This is what I'm here to do. I'm here to spar, train, fight.
Growing up in Ireland, what were some of the challenges that you had? When you said earlier you gave up school, you gave up so much. What was one of the biggest challenges pursuing your career?
Definitely, like when I was in Ireland, I worked on fishing boats. So I was working 7 days a week just to afford a car to drive myself to training. So not a lot of people know this about me, but like people see me now and they think, oh, he's just a boxer, he's over in LA, he's living the dream, he must have money and stuff. But I came from like nothing. I worked 7 days a week on fishing boats to afford a car to get to training, to drive myself there. And obviously the biggest challenge is like I'm from a small town, trying to get out, try to do something like better for myself, try to make it somehow, and obviously not knowing how to do it. And then obviously when you get a bit older and like everybody my age, 18, 19, people start drinking, partying, you know, all that kind of, trying to stay away from that and trying to just focus was the hardest part. But obviously the best decision of my life then was moving here, taking a chance, and it's starting to work out. So
I didn't know that about
yeah, there's a lot of stuff people don't know about me. Yeah.
Because they look at you and they just think, oh, he's privileged, he's got
Exactly,
it. He's
yeah,
good. But you worked hard.
I worked hard all my life. Yeah, I've put absolutely everything. I've sacrificed everything for this. My whole education. So in Ireland, when you're like 15, 16, you do this thing. It's called a junior cert. It's like your first like exams when you're in like it'd be like high school exams. I was fighting in the Europeans, so I couldn't do that. And then my last exam, like when you're like 18, 17, 18, it's like your final exams in school. I was supposed to be at the World Championships, so I couldn't do it either. I was in training camp for World Championships. So like I've no education really on paper because of boxing. But like I've sacrificed everything, and that's why I'm still here, committed. I just have one goal. It's plan A. I don't have a plan B, so I'm just giving it everything, and hopefully it'll work out.
Is a boxer ever afraid of getting in the ring?
No, well, I don't know. They could be, but I'm definitely not. Like I know I've been in the ring for 124 times. You know, and it's just at the end of the day, I'm just fighting another man. He's the same as me, 2 arms, 2 legs. You know, it's like it's just a fight. I'm used to fighting. I grew up fighting. You know, we street fighting all the time. It's just Ireland. People like if you have a problem with someone in Ireland, you know you're going to fight. And I think just boxing, it's my job. You know, I'm in there to win. I'm very confident in myself and my ability. And obviously, like on the night, you might have a few nerves, you know, like a couple, but I'm never afraid to get in the ring. I get in the ring with anybody. Like I said a while ago, if Tom told me, you're fighting this person tomorrow, I'd say, okay, it's my job.
Yeah.
You know, so,
And how about your style? Are you a boxer, a brawler?
Yeah, when I was an amateur, I boxed everybody. Like always counter punching, always on the back foot boxing. But then when I came here to Freddie, obviously Freddie's style is a more aggressive style. So I kind of took that on. So now I can box if I need to. Like my last fight, I went 6 rounds of distance. I just kind of boxed because I hurt my hand in that fight and there was a lot of stuff, so I just boxed. But in the 3 fights before that, I just fought and I just went forward, and I had 3 first round knockouts. But I can do both now. Like with the help of Freddie and my amateur career, I can do both when I need to.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I was always a knockout puncher. Even when I was counter punching, I always had power in the hands. I was always knocking people out. But from the back foot, I was never going forward looking for it. But I think that's the best thing about getting to Freddie when I was so young. Is like I was 20 when I got to Freddie. I'm 21 now, but like, you know, being young and being able to adapt to different styles and having that like couple of years like to just learn different styles, I think that was a big advantage for me too.
As a southpaw, is it hard? You're a southpaw,
Yeah,
right?
southpaw, yeah.
Is it hard for you to get fights? Because I know a lot of people are like, oh, I don't want.
Yeah, being a southpaw and obviously like having the backing of UFC, having Freddie Roach in your corner. You know, when people see that kind of stuff, it's like it's hard for them to accept the fight because all they have to do is look me up and they see like the support I have, they see Freddie, they see where I'm training. But obviously when you get to the higher level, people have to fight. Well, they don't have to, but like it's these fights need to happen. So that's why I feel like I'm going in the right direction to get. Like obviously I need these fights to build myself, but I feel like I'm ready for a massive step up again. And but obviously Tom is in charge of the career and he's guiding me on the right path. So. No, I'm just at the moment I'm just taking it fight by fight. You know, if you look too far ahead, you just have to take it fight by fight. You can't take anything for granted. You can't. Like my next opponent is 13 wins, 1 loss. You know, it's a good opponent. He's a good record, and if I'm like, oh, looking past him, that's when you could slip up. And everything I've sacrificed, everything I've done, that's it, gone out the window. So I need to take it fight by a time and just work like that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Whether it's in sparring or in a fight, even amateurs or pros, Have you ever gotten hit to a point where you're like, whoa, that one did hurt?
No, obviously, yeah, some of them hurt, like, but I don't know, I have a good chin, I'd say. I've never been dropped, never been, out of 124 fights, I've never even got a standing count, anything. So, I don't know, I feel like I have a strong chin, so.
To see a punch that is coming that nobody else sees, is that preparation? Is that like
It's experience. It's experience. It's like, that's something you can't learn. That's like, it's something you just have to spar and fight, and obviously that'll just come eventually. You'll be able to kind of read it. Like, obviously my education, I don't have like a brain for school and stuff, but my boxing brain, I have a very good boxing brain to read fights, read fighters, and that's another advantage that I would have from so many amateur fights, a massive career, that experience, being able to read, a fight. And obviously if you can't read the punch, having a hard head and a good chin, obviously it will help then, but yeah, it's just experience, really. Yeah, that's what it comes down to.
What time do you run? What time do you your gym work?
So my days at the moment for this fight, for this camp, I wake up in the morning, I go to the wildcard at 9 AM and I start my training. I don't like to get up too early. I see people like go running at like 5, 6 AM, and I don't like to get up that early. I like to get my rest, and so like if I run at 6 AM, it's the same as me running at 6 PM. For me, it doesn't make a difference. I'm getting the training in. So I like to get my rest, and I start training at 9. I'll do whatever session Freddie has me do in the wildcard. Normally I'll come home, rest, eat, and I'll do strength and conditioning. And then I like to run at night. I like to do my cardio at night. So that's my 3 sessions a day for that.
Yeah. Today, the boxers have a lot of resources in training. Well, the strength and conditioning and nutritionists and a lot of things.
Yeah, I always liked the gym. I always like to look in shape, and so even back in Ireland, I was always lifting weights, always in the gym. Like, obviously you can do it like without that, but I feel like, I don't know, it's just part of my life since I was young. Just always weights, boxing, gym, running, and yeah, that's how I've always trained. So.
Who is the first fighter you ever saw with the WBC green and gold belt? Do you remember?
Who was the first one? Was it Mark? I remember in the day that you brought it to the wildcard.
That was the first time?
Yeah, I was never I've never been around any of this like professional boxing. I was just always around amateur boxing my whole life. I think it was the day you brought the belt to Mark, in the wildcard. Yeah, that was the first time I actually seen one in real life.
Was it love at first sight?
Yeah. I'm looking at him here, and I might try and take one home with me. Yeah.
So tell us about your upcoming fight that you have in November.
Yeah, November 3rd on UFC Fight Pass again. Against it's another step up, an opponent at 13-1 opponent. We're 6 weeks out now. I'm in the middle of camp. I'm ready to fight again. I can't wait. It's coming up to that time again. You're in camp and I can't wait for November 3rd and hopefully get a knockout this time. I was a bit disappointed with my last fight that I went the distance. Obviously, I need the rounds and stuff, but I'll definitely be making sure I get a knockout this time.